What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Thanks for joining us here at Alarm Fantasy Football. I'm Howard Bender, straightening out my camera as always because the cat's always knocking around. I'm here with Andrew Cooper, and you're listening to Alarm Fantasy Football, where we're taking a very, very deep dive, early dive here into some best ball, underdog best ball stuff with our big board show here. And Coop, you can explain it to the kids what they're actually about to see, because I'm still learning also.
Yeah, absolutely. So last year at this time, I'm talking March 20th, we started our own family best ball drafts. We're going to get to those next week. Unfortunately, no private drafts are open yet on Underdog, right? But some of the early contests, the pre-draft contests are up and running. The premier one being the big board. Now you can do things like the little board, which is like a slow draft. You can do some of the $100 ones if you want to go crazy, but it's a little early for that, if you ask me. The big board is their pre-draft contest. It has the rookies in there. It also, Howard, has a one little wrinkle to it. Instead of being 18 rounds, it's 20 rounds. So they give you a little extra leeway. You know, guys get hurt in the offseason. We don't know what's going to happen in the draft. So they give you a little more room. I've done a couple of these so far. The strategy is not that much different from other drafts, but I will say it's with 2 extra rounds, it's much easier to have 3 quarterbacks, much easier to have 3 tight ends. For those that are just joining us ever on Best Ball, well, boy, do I envy you, because it is one of the funnest games there is.
Funnest?
The most fun, I believe, is what they would say if they were some sort of award-winning writers. But yes, the most fun you can have. It's basically what it is you draft your team. There are there's no lineups, there's no trades, there's no waivers. You pick 20 players, you have to have all positions covered, and an algorithm automatically sets your lineup during the season, so you don't have to worry about that. The beauty of that is that you can go out and draft 100 teams if you want, no stress, right? We did 20 best ball drafts with the family last year. I see a lot of the families here in the chat. Jack sends in somebody who's won multiple with us. Rex Timothy's in the house. We see Jerry hanging out here. What's going on, everybody? But yeah, that's the gist of it. We've got one just waiting for people to queue in right now. But we're going to go over the early ADP guys we like, guys we don't like, who we think could potentially be league winners, who we're stacking up. And Howard, I can tell you already, just like every past year, there are already certain players where when you look at like the wide receivers and then when you look at where the quarterback's going, there's values to be had. I mean, it doesn't, the ADP, as always, doesn't make sense. So we'll go through all of it, man. Now, Howard, you have not done one of these yet. So is this your first one, right?
I mean, this is my first best ball draft here with Underdog. I've done a way too early mock draft with Sirius XM. Going through that, I listen, and I'll say it flat out. I'm here so I don't get fined. How about that? Because listen, I don't believe in investing my money in best ball drafts until I know where these players are going. Because you take a guy like Ashton Genty, right? Great player, phenomenal player. There's so much promise. Depending on where he lands is how I'm thinking about drafting him in fantasy. He's not going to be a lock bet, second round pick for me, depending on where he goes. So, I always have a hard time doing this, and I get it. Like dynasty people and best ball people are just fanatics because they don't follow baseball, or they don't play DFS basketball, or they don't play, or invest in any of the other sports. So to do a best ball draft, you're champing at the bit, ready to go. And it doesn't matter to you where these players land because you guys are watching all this college tape thinking that, this guy's going to be the be all end all. I staunchly preach against that. And listen, I don't care. I mean, you want to, it's your money. You do what you want to do with it. I will not invest heavily in best ball until after the draft. I'll dabble in it right now and I'll play around and I'll do a couple of drafts here and there. But, for those people who are already ready to max out entries in the big board contest, it doesn't work for me, because football doesn't work for me like that, because football is all about matchups and systems and how players fit. So, that's my take. I'm not trying to shit on your on people's dreams of winning a big best ball tournament. it's just, I think you're not really, you're not really helping your cause. I'd be very curious to see, people who like win big best ball tournaments with pre-draft like teams or post-draft teams.
Yeah, I'll say and the good thing about this one is that it does end prior to the draft. It ends on the April 24th. So every team in this tournament will be drafted before the NFL draft. We did 3 family drafts last year. The one I did win, I did have Brian Thomas Jr. and Bucky Irving. But again, you're right, Howard. There's so much more luck that goes into these ones this time of year. And for me, they serve more as a tool to understand what the early thoughts are on players, a tool to understand like ADP going in, and potentially to understand what the true effects of the NFL draft and landing spots are. Like to watch guys like where their values go from now to after. It is a good tool, but you're right. Don't sell the family farm to do big board drafts. That's nuts. And they also, Howard, have they're doing $3 private drafts this year. So maybe for these pre-draft ones, maybe we'll juice it down from the typical $5
Do the
some
cheapies, right?
Yeah,
Nothing
I
wrong
think
with
we'll do a
doing the
couple.
cheapies.
Yeah, I think we're gonna mix and match this year because we did have people that wanted to do more expensive ones last year too. So we're coming up on the clock. The board's up there. If you guys in the chat, if you can't see it, let me know. I'll see if I can fix it up. But Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Barkley, Lamb, Robinson, Gibbs, Howard, we're on the clock. Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Thomas Jr. I kind of want to go Brian Thomas Jr., but I could be sold on any one of the other guys.
I mean, just go with Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, this is at this point right now. It's it's about picking some of your favorites and who you guys think is going to pop the most. And we know what Amon-Ra St. Brown's role is, right? And we know that they're increasing the workload for guys like Jameson Williams and for Sam Laporta. And they re-signed Tim Patrick, I think, to stay on there. So, we know that Brian Thomas is on the rise. I'm more than happy to go with him as my as my top pick.
Yep. And for me, like when I draft this early, I think about insulated value, right? Like what teams could be bringing on guys that could really mess things up. When you look at what the Jaguars are doing, they brought in Liam Cohen, where they use that big slot role for a wide receiver. They used Chris Godwin there with the Rams previously. They used Cooper Kupp. They got rid of Evan Engram. They got rid of Christian Kirk. They cleared the deck for Brian Thomas to be that guy. And even if they bring in a bigger outside receiver or a field stretching receiver, that at this stage can really only help Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, things were better for Chris Godwin to have Mike Evans on the outside. So I just love his situation in this scheme right now. And when I look at some of the other guys, it's like the Lions defense is getting better, right? The Rams brought in Devontae Adams. Who knows what the Texans are going to look like? It's just I feel really good about his situation. We're back up on the clock here. Best available right now, and we just watched Christian McCaffrey, AJ Brown go. Derrick Henry, Ladd McConkey, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Bucky Irving, Howard.
Yeah, or you could make a move for your boy since you wrote up that article on him. Why not go after another number 1 wide receiver and a kid like Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I would, but the clock was moving too quickly on us. So hopefully he'll be there on the way back.
What's the clock on this? A 30-second clock?
30-second clock,
yeah. See,
so
very tough to organize thoughts and do shows in that fashion. I mean, listen, I don't mind Jonathan Taylor. That's it's a fine pick.
I just pulled the trigger on what I thought was the safest pick there, but hopefully Marvin Harrison Jr. comes back to us because I'm feeling really good about him. Yeah, Fatty wants us to go night mode. We can do that for you, brother. Let's see. I got to refresh it here, but I feel you, dude. A little harsh on the eyes.
It's like, oh, my eyes. It's hurting my eyes.
My sweet eyes. There you go, buddy.
There it is. There we go.
There you go. Your sweet angelic eyes will now be safe from the harsh reality of this draft. Just want to shout
chances that Marvin Harrison drops to us here in round 3. What are the?
I mean, based on ADP, we would be almost exactly at the spot where he goes, right? So we're coming up and people are moving pretty quickly here, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people ranked ahead of him. We're up in about 5, 6 picks. So based on ADP, here are the next names available, Howard, just so we can get ahead of it.
Yep.
Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Trey McBride, Brees Hall, DJ Moore, Kyron Williams, Josh Allen, Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'll tell you this, Howard, just real quick up front. I've done a couple of these, and I'm so tempted to take running backs early, but the running backs feel really deep this year. Oddly, I started one the other day, took 3 in a row, and then it was like the fifth, sixth, seventh round, and there were still running backs there that I really liked, but I couldn't take them. So, kind of interesting with running back.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely an interesting position. And with last year it being the year of the running back, I think there are a lot of people who are, itching to do that a lot earlier. I remember, doing best ball drafts last year at this time, and everybody was taking wide receivers.
Yep.
So, if you're going to see some running backs go out a little early, again, so much time to pass and so much, more of an injury risk here that I'd probably say that if we're going to start stacking our team up a little bit, that we end up doing, going wide receiver heavy here and see what we can cobble together with running backs.
Yeah, I guess I would love to do that here. Maybe a little bit of a hero running back because I did one the last one I went running back heavy and I felt good about the guys later. So let's go Marv here. For those that haven't seen it, I did a write up on Marvin Harrison Jr. The short and sweet is that he was getting open. Player Profiler said he was top 10 in basically win rate for routes getting open. He had really good win rate numbers in versus man to man. The problem was Kyler Murray, top 3 quarterback in the league at getting the ball out of his hands in under 2 seconds per fantasy points. And when he didn't get it out early, he would scramble and the play would break down. So one way or the other, he wasn't getting through his reads to the next level. He wasn't progressing to those intermediate routes, and that hurt Marv. I think this offseason, Drew Petzing puts an emphasis on that. And if he doesn't do that this year, then he's probably never going to succeed as an NFL quarterback. Because when you look at guys like Joe Burrow and some of these other guys, they're willing to give up and pass up on the short stuff because they know Jamar Chase and T. Higgins will be open at the next level. If you can't do that as an NFL quarterback, it's never going to work. So I'm betting that they work in more play action, do what they need to do to make that happen. I'm betting on the talent, but there's a possibility that Kyler Murray just is not interested in it. Like he just wants to take the low hanging fruit, or he wants to scramble. So we'll have to see. But I'm willing to take that bet, Howard.
Yeah, I'm willing to take that bet as well. Would have been nice to maybe stack him up with a little Trey McBride, but not necessary here. What's coming up next? Who are the top available?
Okay, so we can take a quarterback here. Lamar Jackson just went. So Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson went. We could take Jalen Hurts, or we got wide receivers like Xavier Worthy, Devonta Smith, Jamison Williams, Rashee Rice, rookie Tet McMillan, Rome Odunze, who is another guy I like. For running backs, you're into Amarion Hampton, Joe Mixon, and Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara, Kenneth Walker. I mean, like those running back names, those are all good.
I do. I like Kenneth Walker. Now that you've got Kubiak in there and he brought in Rick Dennison, I actually like Kenneth Walker. I would have gone Rashee Rice here, though. But I do like him more than I like Worthy. I'd go Kenneth Walker here.
Yeah, I think we're at a spot where Kenneth Walker will either, if we don't take him now, we wouldn't get him on the way back.
Yeah, and we can look for Zach Charbonnet a little later on in the draft, kind of cuff them together. So 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers,
Yeah. And this is what you were kind of alluding to earlier when you were talking about systems, right? Is that we have the new system coming in, Clint Kubiak, long history of his zone scheme. He's bringing in a fullback, and you said he brought in another coach from
Rick Dennison. So his Clint Kubiak's father, Gary Kubiak, he and Rick Dennison were the architects behind building like those Denver running back situations. You remember when it was it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was like Reuben Drones and Mike Anderson and all these guys like became 1,000-yard rushers because it was Kubiak and Dennison and their zone blocking scheme that they utilized and catered it to their offensive line, abilities and what the players were capable of doing. Then they left Denver. They went to Houston, where they turned Steve Slayton and Arian Foster into household fantasy names. Like these guys just do it. They were in Minnesota, right? When it was Dalvin Cook and bringing him to the forefront. So Clint Kubiak, Gary's son, has basically picked up exactly where his dad left off. He also keeps bringing Rick Dennison, along as his offensive line coach. It is one of the most formidable tandems that we've seen, and I'm definitely in for that. It returned Alvin Kamara to top stature before he got banged up later on in the draft. So
when everyone was healthy, he was the RB1. Not even everyone. Like even as they lost guys like Olave and Shaheed, he was still the RB1. I mean, in PPR, so a good spot. We're up in one pick here. We could go Tet McMillan, which is a rookie that people are all of a sudden divisive. He was the top guy, but now, and he still probably is, but now divisive. He just went. We could go George Kittle here, which is a good best ball pick, or we can go Sutton, Cortland Sutton, Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy. That's probably the crew I'd pick from.
All right, go ahead. I'd go. I don't mind Godwin coming back from the injury. A little risky, but
Godwin or Sutton.
Oh, Sutton in that, as that X receiver, I'm fine with that too. Although do you want to? Are we gonna do Sutton and Evan Engram? We're gonna tandem it, right?
I think we got to go. Well, let's go Sutton. Maybe. Hey, maybe
are we going all Denver here? Where's Bo Nix?
We go
big Bo
stack,
Nix,
right? Big boy stack. We could even. I mean, the thing is, they don't really have the running back yet, but we could speculate on Travion Henderson, and that's part of the problem with the draft is that like you sit here and you try and stack things like that, and you don't know. We don't know for sure. So, yeah, but I mean, the QBs are going later than ever, Howard. Based on my
I had to pop this comment up here, man. Just my boy Greg Martinez here. That's right. Benjamin St. Juste signing with the with the Chargers. That's just
beautiful, right?
That makes my mouth water for AFC West receivers, no doubt about it.
Yeah, wheels.
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
why Genty hasn't gone yet? How is none of
he
these,
went.
Where did he go?
I missed. He went right in like the first the swing of the.
I'm only seeing 11 teams.
Oh, 11 teams. Yeah, I could zoom it out. Can people still see when it's zoomed out like that? Yeah, they can. That should be good. Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, and Omarion Hampton's gaining a lot of steam. People are liking him a lot. There's been arguments that he should be the 102 in rookie drafts right after Genty. He's a big dog, 6 foot 220. I've gotten through most of my wide receiver rankings for rookies, just getting into the running backs now, but those are going to be up this week, and hopefully we can carve out a little segment maybe on the Sirius XM show, maybe on Friday. Howard, talk a little rookie pre-draft, maybe.
Very possible. Very possible.
Wyatt in the chat saying you better draft Stafford. So here's what I'm saying, Howard. Like in past years where we got the value on Tua when Waddle and Tyreek Hill were going very early. And then this year, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Puka Nacua goes in the first round. Devontae Adams went in the third. Matthew Stafford goes pick 150. I'm just wondering how that's possible. Either these wide receivers. All right, hold on. We're on the clock here. Waddle, Pickens, James Conner is here. Jaden Reed, Calvin Ridley, a couple rookie running backs, Ricky Pearsall. I'm thinking either Waddle or James Conner here. Or maybe
I'd rather go Conner. I'm not a Jalen Waddle fan. I'm just not, I mean, how many times did he shit the bed last year for everybody, right? I told people in week 3 it's safe to drop Jalen Waddle, and people went bananas on me.
They did go bananas.
And then look what happened. Did he have more than 3 good games that last season?
It was tough, but I still believe in him. He's fairly young. Started his career back to back 1,000-yard seasons, but I mean, yeah, Tua's got to prove that he can stay healthy. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to draft a player who is so insanely reliant on his quarterback. That's why I'm probably not going to have shares of Devon Achane. Right? Because I don't know what Achane's going to be like with Zach Wilson under center. I don't know what Jalen Waddle's going to be like with Zach Wilson under center. Yeah, see, Daddy's saying it right there. Daddy knows.
Yeah,
Daddy knows.
I still believe. I believe there's upside there, but you're right. You're betting on guys to stay healthy. That's it. Waddle hasn't been healthy.
You're betting on guys to stay healthy who have never proven to be able to stay healthy. That's the difference.
So we picked James Conner, who's never played a full season.
He's never played a full season. Absolutely.
Well, that's what we took instead. I mean, it's
right,
the
but
game with everybody.
he's not relying on his QB who has massive concussion issues.
True. It's true. Yeah, and I like James Conner a lot, and they seem to like James Conner a lot as well. So we're
How
looking
do you
good
not
there.
like James Conner a lot? I like James Conner a lot. Where's James Conner? Let me
Great
find
guy.
him over.
Seems like a great guy. Strong guy. Yeah. So, but anyway, it's like you
He
look
beat
at
cancer for crying out loud. Come
he
on.
did. He did. So you look at where Jamar Chase goes and where T Higgins goes, and then where Joe Burrow goes. And the guys that won Best Ball Mania last year had those three guys because Burrow had 6 straight games with 3 touchdown passes for over the the playoffs for Best Ball Mania, which matters most. But I look at Stafford and Stafford and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, and at that ADP, it's entirely possible that they can put together those games, and you don't have to draft him as your QB1. He doesn't have to be the guy that wins the league for you. He can just be one of those pieces that's good for fantasy football. So I don't. That's the one I don't understand early. The Matthew Stafford ADP. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Look at this, Howard. We're already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds into this draft. Only 5 QBs taken. Patrick Mahomes still on the board, the best player in football. So I don't know. We're on the clock here. Calvin Ridley, Mahomes, Khalil Shakir. We got Matthew Golden as a field stretching speedster that people seem to like as a rookie. Jalen Warren, Tony Pollard. Do we take Mahomes? Do we wait on quarterback?
I'd wait on quarterback. I told you what I want to do. I want to do Bo Nix and I want to get Evan Ingram. That's what I want to do. I want to stack Denver right now. If I'm going to sit there, I know what the system is over there. I know who the coaches are, and I know who the main components are.
Okay, let's take this rookie, Matthew Golden. He's perfect for best ball. It might not be super consistent for leagues where you set lineups, but I think this is the kind of player you take a stab on before the draft because he had a really good combine. He might increase his draft stock and be this year's kind of Xavier Worthy, very fast, very, very fast player. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember what he ran in the 40 time. Chat, what did he run in the 40? But it was like he kind of blew everyone's mind with his 40, and he was 4.29. Howard, that's pretty fast, right?
Sure.
You don't like drafting rookies.
I'm not going to draft a guy based off of what he did on the combine.
Of course not, but it's not just the combine. People have him fairly unanimously ranked as a
How amazing was Xavier Worthy last year? Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
For best ball, he's pretty good.
What's that?
For best ball, based on his pre-draft ADP, he did really well.
He was okay. He had, the injuries that took place in Kansas City had him kind of playing a little bit out of position. And towards the tail end of the year, that's when they used Xavier Worthy the way they wanted to use Xavier Worthy, right? As like a low ADOT, pick up the yards after the catch. That's the way they utilized him over there. So, you always have to worry about these guys, not to mention, like, that's the thing. It's one of the reasons why I loved what Dan Campbell did with Jameson Williams. He's like, I'm not going to just make this guy a deep threat.
Yeah, but he could be better than Xavier Worthy. All right, we're on the clock. I like Ramondre Stevenson here, but we could take TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews.
Dude, I honestly like.
Actually, you know what we're gonna do?
We got
No, we got to take this guy here because he's coming up in ADP and like within the next 5 picks.
Bo Nix, there it is.
Boom shakalaka.
Yep. And watch, Evan Ingram's going to go off the board now.
No.
Yeah. Watch, he's going to go off the board here. Hawkinson off the board right now. We're not going to complete our stack here because you wanted Matthew Golden.
You'll be surprised
by his
ADP. His ADP is 130.
There goes Jonnu Smith.
We're going to pick 93. ADP for Ingram is 130. We don't even have to take him this round.
Okay.
If we don't want to.
I'll let you take Evan Ingram when you want to take Evan Ingram.
Well, now you've jinxed us and you've scared me.
I haven't jinxed us. This is you. This is all your part of the plan.
You just put a hole in the boat.
I'm looking forward for you to start stacking up Green Bay wide receivers because they're so awesome. You should start with Mecole Hardman.
I'm not. What are the points for return yards? There goes Mark Andrews. All right. You're going to force my hand here on this.
You got to scroll down a little bit here so I can actually see the board. Oh, there goes your boy Ramondre.
See? Well, we had to take Knicks there. That pick had to be made. And we're doing okay. We have 3 running backs. We have 4 wide receivers. We have a quarterback. Someone's going to take the rookie tight ends. Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland will go before Evan Ingram. I guarantee it.
If that's the case, then this room is complete idiots.
No, those guys are great, and people.
I'm
are
not saying that
suckers.
they're not great, but they have to go to a system where they're going to be featured pass catchers. You have to be the number 1 or number 2 target on your roster in order to like really pan out. Like I'll take a guy like Evan Engram over any rookie that I don't know where he's going to land.
Okay, I want to take Michael Pittman here.
Do it.
That's what I want to take.
He's got,
and then we'll take Evan Engram on the way back.
Do it.
Michael
I don't know
Pittman,
who's throwing a Michael Pittman, but hey, why not?
Daniel Jones. And
that should incite, a whole lot of confidence for him.
But he last year, even with the horrible QB play and a bad back, like they basically said he had a broken bone in his back. He avoided surgery, which is good, and he still was able to put up like 800 yards. I mean, he's going. What is it? Pick 100? Come on now. The other options would have been Rashid Shaheed, who I love, but he's coming off the knee, and then Darnell Mooney. Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman last year was the wide receiver 40, but still finished in targets behind both Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and now you're also adding in a guy who likes to go after contested catches in DeAndre Hopkins too.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely a dicier situation there. We'll see. Wide receivers are starting to get thin, whereas there's still some running backs I like.
Where are you at with these double taps of the QB position that we're already seeing here?
Yeah, I think that's that's not a bad strategy at all. I kind of like that a lot. Just to wait until round 8, 9, maybe a little later if possible. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, I feel like you're not exposing yourself to enough upside, right? Like you're double tapping two guys are a little too similar, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to double tap like if you went Kyler Murray and then one of those guys, now you're giving yourself some exposure to mobile upside, and you got your guy that can make sure he gets you 10 points every week, right? What do you think about the Mahomes, Caleb Williams stack there?
What's that?
What do I think one of the guys went Mahomes.
Yeah,
Caleb
I mean,
Williams.
I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, the issue really is like, what is Andy Reid going to be doing with Patrick Mahomes? I mean, again, he's got an arsenal of weaponry here, but the way defenses are playing him. Oh, look, you went for Evan Engram. You didn't want to chance it?
We were getting a little too close to the sun. We flew a little too close to the sun there. We got our guy. And we got our super.
Oh, look at that. We
Broncos.
just got sniped on Charbonnet.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem because now running backs are getting pretty thin. Cam Scatabo just went, the rookie, the big dog. We got J.K. Dobbins. So hitting way down here, we could do Javonte. These are later picks, but Javonte Williams and Nick Chubb go super late in these, and I think there's a little life there. One guy I want to ask you about. So last year he just went. God damn it. We were fading Tank Big. Well, because we were fading Rachaad White in favor of Bucky, and I'm wondering if maybe we could see something similar out of Liam Cohen, where it's like it starts off a split between ETN and Tank Bigsby, and Bigsby ends up being the better rusher. Last year he was the better rusher, like statistically in every way he was a better rusher than Travis Etienne. So maybe we see something similar. It's tough to try and paint those narratives forward, but it's possible.
All right, where are we going now? Are we going to grab a second QB as those guys are starting to come off the board? Do you want to hit running back here?
I think if we're going to take a QB now, we should take I think pairing Trevor Lawrence with Brian Thomas Jr. would make a lot of sense.
Okay.
Because it's Jordan Love, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, or I'm down to wait though and take like Stafford, Anthony Richardson.
Okay. I'm happy to wait there.
Sam Darnold. Let's wait. Let's just do 2 QBs. We drafted one early enough. So yeah, I mean J.K. So if you were gonna, J.K. Dobbins, Tajay Spears, this guy Bashal Tootin, he had a great combine again. I think a lot of people fall in love with those guys at this time of year. Rex Timothy says, "Why Nick Chubb until you know where he's going? He could legit be a 0." Well, I think it's just you got to believe whether you believe in the player or not.
I believe in the talent, and a year removed from the injury, kind of, turns me on a little bit here. It also, it depends on where he lands as well. That's going to be an important thing as well. But I do think we need to beef up the running back.
We're on the clock. J.K. Dobbins, The risk moving J.K. Dobbins or the safer moving Tajay Spears?
I guess Spears is probably the better move here.
I like the Spears pick with this spot, Howard, because now it frees us up to take a Chubb or take a risk later, right?
Yeah.
And we win heavy at running back. We have Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, James Conner for best ball bros. That's like, that's hero. That's robust RB, Most of the best ball boys, they're not getting 3 starting running backs like that. They're loading up on junk. All right. Quarterback, still Trevor Lawrence there, Dak there.
Yeah. I have no interest in Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it right there. I know what Brian Schottenheimer wants to do, but Dak just, you know what it is? Dak just hasn't been the same since the ankle injury. And
Right.
when he doesn't, when he's not capable of rolling out the way he used to be, then I lose interest. He's also only got one legitimate target in CeeDee Lamb at this point.
Right. And it's like you ask, like, what's different? Well, didn't he start his career with back-to-back 6 rushing touchdowns each of those years? It's like that's a lot of points to take away for a guy that doesn't do that anymore. So wide receiver, we're looking at Hollywood Brown, Xavier Legette, Cedric Tillman. Jaden Higgins is a big-bodied split end. Like his name's Higgins, but he kind of is a T. Higgins type guy. Cortland Sutton type guy. Adam Thielen, Dontavian Wicks, Amari Cooper. Yeah.
Yeah. None of those names. I'd probably go Amari Cooper and just hope he lands somewhere decent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just looking from like a talent standpoint, sure, he drops the football a ton, but I don't know.
Yeah,
pick your guy. Who do you
I'm
want?
willing to. We'll go Amari. I like that. I'm willing to bet that the bet here is that the wrist injury was more serious than we were made to believe, and that's why he didn't really do much and couldn't really get on the field. And if that's the case, then he can certainly bounce back, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, there we go. Daddy says Amari Pooper. Shout out. Chubb is like RB60. That's what I'm saying. He is so far down there that you almost like have to reach, because I think there's other people scrolling through and thinking the same things that we're thinking.
Can you scroll down so we can like see what else we got going on here? Like, yeah, I'm having trouble seeing picks there.
Yeah, so there you go. Javonte Williams just went, and he was pretty far down in ADP. So there are people having those thoughts. What do you think about Rico Dowdle in Carolina?
I mean, I think he's fine as to me, he's like a handcuff to Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at there, and whatchamacallit, did they bring in somebody else there also? Did I see that correctly or no? Carolina.
I'll just double
no,
check.
no, yeah, it's still
Yeah.
Dowdle. I just think that the signing of Rico Dowdle means the end of Jonathan Brooks. So I'm fine taking Dowdle as a guy in case Chuba Hubbard gets banged up. At least that Dave Canales likes running one guy and only one guy. There is no split workload there. So for like the later picks, if we're just building some running back depth, I think that's perfectly fine. I also think that at this point in the draft, we should be taking a bunch of shots on some wide receivers, because that's the best part about best ball, and that's one of the reasons why I tend to usually draft a lot of running backs early, because when it comes down to your wide receivers, they don't need to pop every single week. They just need to go like every so often. So I think that throwing some darts at some wideouts here is perfectly fine. If you want to maybe grab your second QB before somebody takes Matthew Stafford off the board from you.
Yeah, I mean, he's going so late, dude. He's still. We're at pick 1, I guess. Yeah, where are we? Pick 150. I guess his ADP is around 155. QBs are falling like crazy in this draft. I mean,
but since we made Amari Cooper's our pick, we've seen 3 quarterbacks go off the board.
I say we take Trevor Lawrence here if he's still there.
Yeah, if you want to take Trevor Lawrence, you could do that.
Might as well. I mean, he's stacked up with Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, that's kind of nice. There are some good fields, like boom bust wide receivers left. Xavier Legette fits the bill. Cedric Tillman fits the bill. Alec Pierce. People like these rookies, Isaiah Bond and Alec Iamanar. So there's some guys definitely available. Later, DeAndre Hopkins, if we want to chase touchdowns. I hate the landing spot for Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Oh yeah.
Awful. He's talking about a guy that last year that would just come out and have a 98-yard touchdown or random touchdowns, but it's just a bad landing spot.
I didn't know who you were talking about without saying Akine 5 times.
Oh, I hate that.
He's like the Beetlejuice of wide receivers.
Stupid system. At tight end, here's what the top guys left are. Isaiah Likely, which still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Kyle Pitts is there. Cade Otton is there. Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth, Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Brenton Strange, who's now more appealing to us. Maybe they don't add a wide receiver in the draft, or maybe the wide receiver they add in the draft is a complete bust. And then who's the second target after Brian Thomas Jr. or maybe he can at least be a
Gabe Davis, or who was the other guy that they just picked up?
Oh yeah, they got De'Ami Brown.
De'Ami Brown.
So, and again at tight end, the barrier to entry is lower. Last year, I finished in the top 300 of Best Ball Mania, and my tight ends were Hunter Henry, Pat Freiermuth, and Greg Dulcich. And Greg Dulcich didn't even play. So basically just Hunter Henry and Pat Freiermuth. And Hunter Henry got to put up a 0 in the final week. Like, you can get away with it. So Pitts went. What do you think about Cedric Tillman here?
I don't mind Tillman. I mean, again, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be for Cleveland, but again, good deep threat and probably a good best ball candidate.
Yeah, people forgot about him. He suffered a really bad concussion and missed the rest of the year, but I kind of looked into it, and I think he's going to be ready. He should be ready to go for offseason stuff this year. And, he popped a couple weeks last year, right? And they don't, like, Elijah Moore's gone. They don't, I mean, even if there was somebody out there, they don't have the money to sign him. They don't really have they're not in a position to draft anybody. I think it's going to be Judy, Tillman, and Njoku this year. So,
yeah, it's possible. Who are we going to go? We're going to seeing more tight ends come off the board. What's the tight end landscape look like? Because we only have Engram here.
Yeah, so it's Otton, who isn't bad in best ball.
I like Sweet Baby Cade Otton.
Sweet Baby Cade Otton and Brenton Strange are kind of the same guy now, right? Like, because Liam Cohen's going to want to run that. So, and then Hunter Henry, like, they did Patriots signed Mac Hollins and nobody. So, like, I don't even know. It's like you don't know there. Pat Freiermuth, I'm a little worried about now that they have 2 wide receivers. I think we might be out on that game.
It's Freiermuth. Muth.
Yeah, what am I saying?
Muth.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear? Didn't I? I thought I was talking to you about the whole pronunciation.
Yes, we were talking about that. And I can't. The thing is,
he was like, "It's Muth." You know what? Up yours, Muth.
The whole Muth is Luth thing. Muth. Freiermuth.
From Sonic the Bluth family, did you just say?
The Bluth, yeah.
The tight end? Did Arthur Smith's tight end just blew himself? What?
Buster Muth.
Buster Muth.
Yeah, but now they have 2 gigantic wide receivers and no quarterback, and 5 other tight ends. I don't know. He's like a stash in Dynasty. Hopefully he'll leave that team soon, but I don't know. I kind of like Cade Otton or I don't know. What do you think about Hunter Henry?
Otton or Strange? I mean, again, Hunter Henry, I don't even know. Is he still with the Chargers?
No, he's Patriots, man.
Oh, that's right. I mean, the Patriots. Yeah.
And he led the team in targets last year, technically. On the technicality.
He did. But then again, we got to, let's look back and see what's Vrabel going to do with him, over there. Who did Vrabel have as his tight end in Tennessee?
He had Chigakonkwo for most of the time there.
He did have Chig in there.
Yeah. And before that was Johnny Smith.
I'd either go Strange to complete the stack or Sweet Baby Cade Otton to spread the love.
All right, let's go Cade, and because Strange goes he goes a little later, so we might be able to get him if he slides. I also don't mind because we'll probably draft 3 tight ends here. I mean, Jatavian Sanders. Who knows who's going to lead the team over there? Juwan Johnson, Rashid Shaheed's going to start the year probably on the pup list. Chigakonkwo is out there. Theo Johnson is a name, very athletic player for the Giants. After that, it gets kind of dicey. Noah Fant is going very, very oddly late. because people thought he was going to get released, but it's looking more and more like he's not going to get released.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the player himself.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the I will again. The player has not been good, but the case to be made for him is that the scheme that George Kittle lives in, using the fullback, right, is brought to Miami, and then they bring in an athletic tight end in Jonnu Smith, and a guy who hadn't done anything for 7 years, all of a sudden is a guy, right? Because they use the fullback and the targets are consolidated. What if Kubiak bringing in the fullback, consolidated targets, tight end that ran a 4.5 40? I mean, there's a narrative there of sorts. Now, the problem is he might just not be any good, in which case it's a wasted pick, but his ADP is like very deep. Is that a no? That sounds like a no.
It's not a no. I mean, again, I'm perfectly fine at this point in time right now. What are we in round 16 of how many rounds? 20.
It's 20. So yeah, typical. So Best Ball Mania, everything after the draft is only 18 rounds, but before the draft they give you 20.
So let's take those shots, man. Let's take the shots. Don't worry about whether or not I approve or don't approve.
Yeah.
Again, I just told you, man. Let's throw some darts here. Let's, because that's what that's what these late round picks in best ball are all about. They're dart throws that have the potential, that have some upside. It's very tough to judge, a lot of the rookies without knowing their landing spots. But for players who are already Droptavian Bricks goes right before us. What are we gonna do? What are we
Everything
gonna do?
you just said makes it time for this pick. Boom.
There it is.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Everything you just said about upside and who cares, and let's take shots on players that could do something that we believe have talent. That's the guy. Now's the time for this guy. And we have 5 running backs. I mean, like
now let's just hit wide receivers, man. Let's just
yeah. Let's do wide receivers, and then we can round it out, because with 20 rounds you can have 3 QBs and 3 tight ends.
Sure.
Like there's plenty of room for activities. So at wide receiver, you
so much room for activity.
So much room for activities. I mean, and there's names out here. These guys are players. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson had multiple games with double-digit targets. Adam Thielen's going to be back. DeAndre Hopkins is still there. He can score touchdowns. Jordan Whittington has a chance to be the wide receiver 3 for a team that really likes using 3 wide receivers. Obviously, Demarcus Robinson is gone. Jack Becht is a rookie prospect that people seem to really like. He came in as a tight end, but he was only like 6'1". He played tight end in high school, and they made him a wide receiver. He was like the star of the Senior Bowl. Then you get into like Troy Franklin. Michael Wilson is out there if you want a little.
Michael Wilson, you know what? I mean, again, I don't love the player. It's the opportunity, although he's 3rd on the targets list.
But he's going to play, but he plays 90% of the snaps.
But he plays 90% of the snaps.
And I think that maybe we go Wan'Dale here. But Wilson's down there, so we can get them both, I think.
Yeah, they'll probably both be available. If you want to grab Wan'Dale here,
now from a build standpoint, so our QBs are Bo Nix and Trevor Lawrence. Our tight ends are Evan Ingram and Kate Otten. Would you rather have 3 tight ends, or would you rather have 3 QBs?
Considering it's Trevor Lawrence, I think I'd rather have 3 QBs.
Yeah,
Who's out there?
He did have shoulder surgery. Shadur Sanders, Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to take Wan'Dale here. Shadur Sanders, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and then you're getting into Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston.
So I'd probably go with Russell Wilson here.
Yeah.
There's the possibility. It sounds like, that Cleveland could be a legit landing spot for him. That pairs him up with Cedric Tillman, possibly, in that whole like Tyler Lockett sort of a role. Even if he stays with Pittsburgh, if he comes back to Pittsburgh, right. He's not going to Minnesota. They're already going with McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know.
There's places to go though. Like somebody's got to be the quarterback for the Giants.
Yep.
Somebody's got to be the quarterback for the Steelers. Somebody's got to be the quarterback for the Browns.
Did you hear the Steelers already said today? They're like, we're fine if Mason Rudolph's our quarterback this year. No, I'm serious. Like that comment was actually made.
That's
comfortable with Mason Rudolph here. The only person who's happy about that is Josh Wagner from SiriusXM.
Of course, dude. He loves them, dude. The dragon, right?
The dragon.
Why would he like that?
I don't know why. Because
because
he fears Aaron Rodgers.
Great point by Jack Sensen. We don't know the schedule. Our quarterbacks might have the same bye week. Who knows? It's like that's why they give you 2 extra rounds here. You don't know, and that's why you probably should be drafting 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. Anyone that does a $100 bigger board is outside of their minds. Like,
he's got money to burn.
Yeah, if you really truly feel like you got some strong hunches that you have to take advantage of now, maybe, but I don't know. I think $10 big board's probably good enough. You can win a lot of money. Yeah. So we want to go tight end, Jatavian Sanders, Chig Okonkwo, Theo Johnson, Noah Fant are the guys I like. Quarterback, it's Russell Wilson or it's Aaron Rodgers. Or it's Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I just don't know if Dart's going to start. I figure anywhere Russell Wilson lands, he's going to play.
Yeah, let's take him.
Anywhere he's going to land, he's going to play. And then if you want to take Theo Johnson here,
now we got
a giant stack. Ugly giant. We got an ugly Jag stack. We got an ugly giant stack. Come on.
Dude, if
that doesn't scream big board winner, I don't know what does.
If we win this tournament stacking 3 giants and none of them are Malik Neighbors or Tyrone Tracy, then no one should play this tournament next year.
Nobody should.
Right.
Who are the other tight ends that are available besides Theo Johnson? You said.
So the ones I'm interested in are Chig Okonkwo, Theo Johnson, and Noah Fant. Those are the guys outside of rookies, and we don't really want to take the rookies at this stage. Chig Okonkwo, at least he is one of the few guys that does break off 40-yard plays at times. Theo Johnson has a high RAS score for people that care about that, but yeah. And then Noah Fant, of course, I gave the whole narrative on him potentially being this year's Jonnu Smith if things break exactly right. I think if people out there, if you think Cooper Kupp is completely cooked, you got to realize this team's going to use a fullback. Cooper Kupp is going to be on the field. The Jackson Smith and Jigba can only get so many targets. So that's kind of another argument for Noah Fant there. Because there are people that are like, Cooper Kupp's done, he sucks. I'm like, okay, what are you doing about it? Like, don't just be negative. Like, you could easily take some of your negative takes and spin them into, okay, here's why I'm on this guy, right? Like, then now you're being having a little fun. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think you very much want to take Noah Fant, and I will acquiesce to you on that decision.
Okay. Cool. I like that. Theo Johnson already went. I hope somebody takes Chig right now. Do it. Do it, Thomas Foster. He has 3 tight ends already. Everybody has 3 tight ends. 3 tight ends just seems to be the way.
3 QBs, 3 tight ends. Again, if they're going to give you that much, that much wiggle room to get 2 extra rounds out of it, sure.
Yeah. Last pick here for us. Should be a running back or a wide receiver, probably. Definitely, actually. 100%.
Wide receiver. Who we got? Who's out there? Give me the names.
Here they are. Oh, top of the queue available, who we probably should have taken just now, is Michael Wilson.
Okay.
Damn. Darius Slayton is out there, back with the Giants on a oddly large contract. Same deal that Josh Palmer got. Same deal that like Darnell Mooney got last year. 3 years, $36 million. So he's gonna play. And then of course there's MVS, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell. Man, there's Tim Patrick is there, fan favorite. He's back with the Lions. So actually, not crazy. Is Tyler Lockett done?
I don't know if Tyler Lockett is done or not, but I think if I'm picking out of those names, Michael Wilson seems to be the only one who's got like some consistent snap share. Lockett could land somewhere, or he could be sitting there waiting for teams to see what happens, what shakes out in the draft. Like, you never know. Right. I always worry about free agents who are lingering for this long, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
To like not have had any kind of offers. Come on.
Right. Michael Wilson just went. We should have taken Wilson there because now that I'm looking, everybody's got 3 tight ends already.
Yeah.
We probably could have got away with
Oh,
it.
you blew that one, Coop. Way to go.
You know what? It's early. It's the first one of the year.
Terrible.
And folks, next week, we're going to be doing a family best ball draft. If Underdog does not open up the private ones, reach out and yell at whoever you have to. You know, Hayden Winks, Pete Overzet, get those open so we can do it on here. If not, I already held a poll in the Discord channel. The people want to do it on DraftKings. So we will be getting set up over there. Otherwise, it's going to be a family draft. The first one that's got the awards on the line. So, folks, if you're in the Fantasy Alarm Discord and you see the people that got the crowns and the trophies and the ribbons
on the clock, TikTok.
Those are heroes.
Where you going?
Slayton, do we take Tim Patrick?
Go ahead.
I like him. He's a killer versus zone. All right. So, yeah, back to what I was saying. If you want to play with us, get set up at the Fantasy Alarm Discord. Get your membership now. Do we still have promo code WIN going right now? What's the
no promo? It's fantasyalarm.com/win. Promo code Let's Go. That'll take 50% off of your first month.
There you go. And that'll get you all the draft content, all the leading up to the draft. It'll get you everything set up. And you can get in. You can start doing best ball drafts with us. It gets you in that premium Discord, all that goodness in there. Also, fantasy baseball. Get you the fantasy baseball guide going. All of our DFS picks for basketball, MMA, hockey, you name it. So get set up there, and then you can draft with us. So next week, that's what we're going to be doing. We are done here. So let's recap this team real quick, and we'll get you guys out of here. So let's go by position group here. We've got quarterbacks: Bo Nix, Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, Stout. Solid. I have just
good.
One of those guys that I just can't. I don't know why. I believe in Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevber Lawrence is.
I know. I've been doing it also, in like season-long leagues and been grabbing Trevor Lawrence, in a number of them. Obviously the Bo Nix pick is the one that I like the most.
Yes,
I think we're going to see a lot out of Denver this year that maybe people weren't like fully banking on.
Right. I like that combo though, because I like Trevor Lawrence. I trust him to have a floor, and Bo Nix is your upside play. Running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Hog, Kenneth Walker, Monster, James Conner, always good when he's healthy, and we don't have to set lineups.
16 games played last year, by the way.
Yeah, he missed the very last game of the year. Missed the very last game of the year. He could have done it. Very close. Tajay Spears, who split backfield with Tony Pollard, and then Nick Chubb. We're just hoping he lands somewhere, maybe with the Bears, to be the David Montgomery for Ben Johnson. That'd be cool. Wide receivers, we got some stars here. Brian Thomas, awesome. Marvin Harrison Jr., hoping he takes that leap. Cortland Sutton. We went the rookie field stretcher, Matthew Golden, not necessarily just a field stretcher. Michael Pittman Jr. Doctor says I need a backiotomy, but he does not need to have back surgery. So we'll see on that. Amari Cooper, hoping the wrist is good. Cedric Tillman for upside. Wan'Dale Robinson, who's a target machine. And then Tim Patrick, the zone killer. Tight end, we have Evan Ingram, the Joker himself, dude. Unbelievable. Superstar, megastar, paired up with Trevor Lawrence. We have little tiny baby Cade Otton, and then we have Noah Fant, reluctantly allowed to be picked by Howard Bender. What a team. What a beautiful team.
I didn't want him.
But that's it. That's the thing is that,
he's going to be the one that's going to win us this tournament.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny too is if we do win and he goes crazy, you're going to turn around and be like, I was the one that said that you could draft Noah Fant.
It wasn't my decision, but I allowed it to happen.
My call. It was at the end of the day, it was my call, right? But you get credit too. This is our squad, and you get credit for joining us today, the Fantasy Alarm family. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Do us a favor, hit a like, hit a subscribe. It costs you nothing. It means the world to us, and we just appreciate it. And now we're getting into it. We've done our first one here to kind of give everybody a taste. Now we're doing best ball drafts with you guys moving forward. That's going to be a lot of fun starting next Wednesday. Again, hit up your Underdog reps, hit whoever you can, whoever will listen, say, get those private drafts open because we got family drafts to do with the fam. But Howard, anything else for you before we get everybody out of here?
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm going to have to just start brushing up on my now that the baseball season is like underway and the MLB draft guide stuff is pretty much done for me. Now I can start focusing a little bit more on some best ball.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all of this stuff over the next 2 days on Sirius XM.